While the possibility of serious gaming on a cell phone was once laughed at, the immense increases in versatile execution imply that is currently a suitable choice, and many brands are designing gaming explicit phones to eke the most out of the power on offer. Asus ROG phone has been one of the long-standing sections in the sprouting market, frequently with the best gaming experience around. Yet it appears Asus might have excessively okay with its most recent top-end passage, the Asus ROG Telephone 5S Pro. As a matter of fact, the planning of the ROG Telephone 5S Pro wasn't great. Designed as a mid-cycle refresh to the ROG Phone 5, the redesigned cell phone sports Qualcomm's Snapdragon 888 Plus 5G at its heart. While that is an able chipset, it was made redundant by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, delivered to or after 3 months. It offers key execution overhauls, and it's the go-to chip for gaming telephones in 2022, meaning the ROG Telephone 5S Pro is presently not the quickest cell phone around. Truth be told, key opponents from any semblance of red magic beat the ROG Telephone 5S Pro in benchmarks, and at a portion of the cost as well. In view of that, is the super exceptional ROG Telephone 5S Pro worth purchasing in 2022? Well, design in a simple, gamer stylish, enormous, cumbersome form. ROG Vision looks cool, however doesn't add a lot. The Asus ROG Telephone 5S Pro is a gaming telephone totally, and you can tell that by simply checking it out. A downplayed, unpretentious cell phone this isn't. The general look is basically the same as the ROG Telephone 5, with the very forcefully precise lines and rectangular camera module that shout gamer when you check it out. That is made considerably more clear with the ROG Vision Back Variety Framework show, which shows a scope of movements as you utilize the telephone. Beforehand selective to the restricted release ROG Telephone 5 Extreme. The PMOLED show has taken the leap toward the 5S Pro. It tends to be utilized to demonstrate approaching calls, notices, and charge state, helpful in the event that you put the telephone face down. Yet it doesn't really show warnings like the auxiliary presentation on any semblance of the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 3. It looks cool initially and adds to the general gaming energy, however it's basically somewhat of a contrivance that everyone around you will appreciate. With all the top-of-the-line internals, enormous battery, and custom-tailored cooling system on offer, it ought to shock no one that the ROG Telephone 5S Pro is strong. It measures in at a not deficient 9.9 mm thick, and it tips the scales at 238 grams, making other gaming telephones like the 215 grams, 9.5 mm thick Red Magic 7 look somewhat smooth by examination. The telephone sports a USB-C port both on its base and left side, permitting you to utilize the telephone evenly and charge the telephone without the link disrupting the general flow. It's anything but another component, yet it's one definitely worth lauding as it's as yet remarkable among Asus gaming contributions. In the event that the all-dark ROG Telephone 5S Pro shot here isn't as you would prefer, you can decide on a matte white completion in different districts all over the planet. However, neither offers any sort of true water or residue rating, so remember that assuming you extravagant a gaming meeting in the downpour. The top-of-the-line gaming experience. Incredible 144Hz presentation, however not the best around. Inherent touch-delicate triggers. A wide program of discretionary gaming frill. Obviously, the ROG Telephone 5S Pro, similar to the remainder of the ROG Telephone family, is centered around gaming. And there's a lot of equipment and programming on deal to stretch that experience to the edge. The highlight is the presentation, however it's totally indistinguishable from that of the ROG Telephone 5 territory. The 678 FHD plus AMOLED show looks totally staggering. Specs and execution. Snapdragon 888 Plus can't contend with 8 Gen 1. Not generally so quick as 2022 opponents, still offers an extraordinary gaming experience. One of the vital contrasts between the ROG Phone 5 and the 5S Pro is the chipset, wearing Qualcomm's Snapdragon 888 Plus 5G. It offers a little lift compared to the standard Snapdragon 888, tracked down in its predecessor, but the principal execution center timed at 3 GHz as opposed to 2.84 GHz, yet it's anything but a game-evolving overhaul. Basically, assuming you have the ROG Telephone 5, there's not a great explanation to get the ROG Telephone 5S Pro. The other glaring issue at hand is the presentation of the more up-to-date Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, delivered a very long time after the ROG Telephone 5S Pro, and found in new key opponents like the Red Magic 7 and Red Magic 7 Pro. While the ROG Telephone 5S Pro's astounding 18 GB of LPDDR5 SLAM implies it's as yet a truly skilled monster, there are less expensive gaming telephones that can coordinate, or even beat, Asus gaming telephone in 2022. That is upheld by our benchmark results, with the ROG Telephone 5S Pro conveying comparable outcomes to the standard ROG Telephone 5, and in many tests, it's limping along key opponents like the Red Magic 7 and its Pro kin. As you'd anticipate from a gaming telephone, it's ready to deal with even the most graphically progressed games on Android effortlessly, particularly when kicked into X mode. You'll have to utilize the packaged Aero Active Cooler 5 to keep execution stable over lengthy gaming meetings in X mode, particularly while playing titles like Vital Mission at Hand Portable and Genshin Effect on high design settings. However, with additional triggers and a stand incorporated into the cooler, it's anything but something terrible. Somewhere else, you'll see as an incredible 512 GB of UFS 3.1 capacity as standard, which sort of compensates for the absence of a SD card opening. And it accompanies the best-in-class network including 5G, Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.2. Battery duration. 6000 mAh battery is one of the greatest around. 65W charging, however just get a 30W charger in box. Battery serenely endures day in and day out. The Asus ROG Telephone 5S Pro has one of the biggest limit batteries in a cell phone to date, brandishing an astounding 6 mAh battery split across two 3 mAh cells that provide sensational regular battery duration. I found that it had serenely most recent 2 days with ordinary use, tweeting, perusing Instagram, looking at TikTok and playing a periodic game. And in any event, while pounding the battery, I wasn't stressed over running out of battery before I returned home. Camera, valid statement and shoot fundamental camera. Fundamental arrangement compared to comparably estimated rivals. Normal low-light execution. Asus must have been so content with that outcome that it chose not to contact the camera arrangement for the redesign, as the camera offering is precisely the same as that as the ROG Telephone 5. It sports the consistently famous 64MP Sony IMX686 wide point sensor close by a 12MP ultra-wide and a 5MP large-scale camera. To be reasonable for Asus, the fundamental camera is genuinely skilled, brandishing a respectable f/1.8 gap. It's perfect in sufficiently bright and genuinely faint circumstances, catching a lot of detail with commonly accurate tones. It's perfect for simple-to-use photography, with a few shooting modes to browse. There are errors in quality between the fundamental and 12MP ultra-wide, as you could envision, yet not simply with regards to generally quality. The variety range on offer is more cleaned out than the principal sensor, making it clear initially which snaps were taken with which focal point. It's as yet convenient for taking wide, broad shots with a 125-degree field of view. However, pictures are many times milder and the f/2.4 gap implies it's not as skilled in low-light circumstances. There's likewise a 5MP large-scale camera that I can ensure that no one will use consistently. It's only there to knock up the sensor count.